What's up, my friends? It's Camiel Daamen, your online Ableton certified trainer. And today we're going to talk about the importance of automation. It might be a little bit of a beginner's topic, but maybe you'll pick up a thing or two if you're also, if you're a little bit more advanced as well. Because automation is, with like any good story, you always have an intro. I always say to my students, if you're watching The Matrix, you know, the movie, you see Neo working in a call center behind his computer, you know, and you don't know yet that he's gonna get the hottest babe of the movie. He's gonna save the world. He's gonna dodge bullets. Gonna learn how to fight like how many martial arts at the same time, you know. And then halfway through the movie, it all goes wrong. And then but then he gets back up again and he still saves the world, you know. These type of things are sort of like similar to automation, or like the story of your track should be sort of the similar, right? So if we look at this project here, you see that the intro, I have a lot of stuff that's slowly coming in, like either with fade-ins or with just filters, you know. So I have the bass in the beginning a little bit more dull, and at some points it swells up and it goes back down, and swells up and it goes back down. And the same here, you know, when pads come in, they come in and then they slowly go away. The ARP is constantly moving in and moving out, and moving in and moving out, like characters in a video that's coming in, or in a story that are coming in, the story moving out, coming suddenly they're back, you know. This is how you can sort of like relate it, you know, to like storytelling in movies, for instance. But you'll see this over a lot of things. Like it's even with like dance presentations where they start the dance softly and slowly, and later they do like 360s, whatever crazy shit. So, you know, this is very similar to music making. I don't want to make it too like metaphorical, but you know, this is how it works. So I've got this song here. Let's play it here from the break. From the break, from the intro. So you see that, like, even though we're listening to quite the same thing, like this thing over here, there's stuff going on. Like this ARP that I made with drift is like the frequencies going up and down, so the filters are going up and down. There's this noise oscillator that's it's getting noisier and less noisier. So there's a lot of automation going on, as well as this filter here is coming up and down. So this sound on itself is just really dynamic, which makes it a little bit more makes the story more interesting to listen to over a long period of time. And meanwhile, we're getting this stuff slowly coming in as well. So that's another variations of the pad, but then it's slowly getting filtered in. The pads itself have like a filter on them, right? So there's a filter envelope here on the Diva that's on, which actually is causing that this pad is also moving. So there's sort of like automation on it as well. So it's not, maybe this episode shouldn't be just the importance of automation. It should be just importance of movement, you know, of like dynamics and making sounds move over time, you know. So using envelopes, using automations, using LFOs, making stuff like alive, you know, like your life will be way more fun when you move to the other side of the world suddenly. Okay, so my sound just lost my sound here, but yeah. Anyway, so if you move to the other side of the world, you have to get like a new sport club, a new job. So your life's going to be super excited, you know. You have to do all these new things. So similar, same way I did it here with this transition here, where we actually stopped the ARP, we stopped this high choir, we stopped the pads, you know, and then you get into a new phase in the track, and where the pads slowly come up, you see, then again we use the fade ins to make stuff fade in. Watch what happens. right? So this one slowly came in. And this is really like, you can basically, whenever you delete a lot of elements, you can basically think, oh, the track is getting a big switch in the middle. This is a really important like arrangement trick as well that's being used a lot in electronic music. And then you get to another point where, for instance, everything gets more chill, and then slowly when this all comes back in, you see them, we fade this back in, you know, the ARP here gets fade in. So whenever we arrive in that break, at first we do the switch, then a new sound comes in, then we land into this break here, and then actually slowly everything comes back in again and we start building again. And on the top of that, you see here we have this little drum fill, right? And it's basically in the beginning of the track, it's always the same, right? It's always the same. And then here it gets a little bit of a delay. And I do that a few times. There's two different fills, and I do that a few times. Why? This is not really like automation for having something fade in or filter in. This is more like to create variations, you know, because if you would constantly listen to the same filter going on or the same fill going on, it's at some point it's boring. So again, we're toying here with the idea to make sounds dynamic, to make them different. They're the same, but different, you know, like they say in Thailand, same, but different. So basically, if you send like a little bit of this drum fill, I'm opening the send and sending it to this delay, and this delay causing it to give that extra tail. You do this maybe also on your Pioneer when you're DJing, you know, you open like a send to one of the effects. So maybe open the send only on the clap, and the clap gets chuck, you know, you get this delay used a lot in electronic music, you know. And then here we get like the break, and you see everything comes up. We got the fills again. The bass is opening slightly, you know. So you see here the filter is doing slightly different stuff than it does in the beginning. So basically everything is moving and everything is constantly being modulated, and that's super important. And then towards the end here, you see I do some fade outs here. You see whenever I get here to the end, I do a fade out. So basically, when you start a track, take your time to arrange it and not bring in the elements all at once or like in the first minute, you know, be slow, just slowly fade stuff in and have to take the time to start something, you know, to really build that tension and that excitement, you know. So you got to also make sure that all the sounds really work together. But, you know, in terms of arranging, usually fade ins and filter ins work really well for the first minute or 2 minutes of a track. And then you reveal the rest by opening filters more or whatnot. And then usually towards the end, you filter everything out. Already that concept is giving you like a good intro and a good outro to your song. And in the middle, you can build a break where everything breaks down and you filter stuff down, or you just make things really crazy by sending it to some delay or some crazy chain. You know, some of my students that worked with me know about the crazy chain, that you can send sounds to a send with lots of effects and just really mess the track up in the middle and then bring it back to normal. So again, the more dynamic it is, the more enjoyable the music becomes for people to listen to, you know. And also with all the fills just slightly changing, getting a tail, then not getting a tail, you know. You can also use two sends, you know, to use two delays, and one fill to one delays and one fill to the other delay. That way you're creating a lot of variation in your track. So yeah, well, I hope this helps. I hope you understand a little bit more about the arranging concept and how to use automation effectively for your arrangements. If you like the way I teach, check out the Lessons in Life website. There's a new beginners, intermediate, and advanced course starting soon. So if you'd like to join one of those, feel free to register and request an intake. Then we can see if you can join. Also, if you register before the 1st of December, you get €200 discount at the moment. So yeah, we're going to start 2026 with a bang. And and if not, you can still enjoy the free content here on the website. I will post a lot of videos. I will keep them coming. You can also join the producer community. We have Lessons in Life, the DOJO, which is on patreon.com. patreon.com/lessons in life, where we have a community where we do feedback sessions and hangouts. We do track breakdowns by me, but also by the people from the community. We have about 50 people now at the moment, and it's really nice. Everybody comes hang out and make music together online or do feedback sessions. It's really nice. We also sometimes have guests. We had Coulter, we had Josh Butler, I had Emma in the past, I had Haraj recently, organic producer, minimal producer, and we have a lot of cool stuff going on. So if you want to join that, check out the patreon.com/lessons in life, and if not, just join. Keep watching the YouTube videos. I hope it helps and you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next one.